It's been a minute. I know you're like, girl, where you been? I know. And I'm gonna tell you where I've been. I've been minding my business, reading again, and listening to audiobooks. And I want to talk about reading and listening to audiobooks. How listening to the audiobook to me is not the same thing as reading, but that is not what the purpose of this video is about today. All right. So I did my morning TikTok scrolling, which I haven't done in a while, hence why I haven't posted anything lately. But so there was this person, this woman, she was talking about how, basically talking about bartering and how it's no longer a thing, and capitalism is the reason why bartering went away, and Now I had to listen to it twice. It's like, okay, let me make sure I'm getting this right. So she was just like, I guess she must be a consultant or something. She was like, I'd rather consult and then get this in return than to have to pay my bills for something, right? She's like, I'd rather consult for a car company, and then they give me a car because I've been consulting for them for however many years. And she said, I'd rather consult a business the mortgage business that my house is under, and get, they pay my house off. I said, okay, all right, those make sense, cool. Then she gets to talking about how, like, she mentions something about, like, I'd rather consult somebody and get a yacht and get full access to their yacht and go wherever I want to on their yacht because I've given them consulting advice and this and that. And I'm like, okay, all right, now you're starting to lose me, right? And I'm gonna say that because she says that, and I'm just like, the things that you're talking about wanting to barter is very materialistic. So I maybe it's just me. I mean, I am a service provider. I can provide a service that can be bartered, right? Sorry, it's gonna be shaking like crazy. They be working on the streets here. But I have a skill that can technically be bartered with, right? But the purpose of bartering, in my eyes, could be wrong. Everybody sees things different. The purpose of bartering and trading, in my eyes, is that you will barter with someone, or barter with somebody who has a company that benefits you on something that you were going to already purchase anyway. So if it's like, so for me, like, say I needed to get my car fixed or something, and I have this skill that I can barter as a massage therapist, I can work on the person the mechanic. I can work on the mechanic, like, hey, how much is the labor to fix my car? How much is that labor? Because I can work on you for the equivalent of how much it will cost for you to do the labor on my car. However, I will still buy the part. So see, there's still something that has to be purchased in order to do it, unless I am then turning around bartering with the auto shop that has the part and saying, hey, if you give me this, I'll give you that. So at some point, money still has to be involved in this situation, because somebody got to pay for something. So when she said she wanted to have access to the yacht, and the full staff, that's what she said, she want to have access to the yacht and the full staff, all right, for her consulting information, because like I said, I guess she's a consultant. And ooh, my shirt is wrinkled, but you know what, whatever. Ain't nobody finna see, I'm finna be in the dark working on people, but whatever. So she's just like, I will want access to that. And I'm like, okay, your job is to consult for this business and give them advice on how to make more money or whatever. In addition to that, you want access to this person's yacht and their full staff, and to go wherever you want to on said yacht, which means the person who owns said yacht has to fuel the yacht, pay the people to be on that yacht to service you, and all this only for you, only because you gave them consulting business. Now, did that consulting that you gave them benefit them into the equivalent? Did they make the equivalent of what it would cost for you to use that yacht? Okay. And then she starts talking about, now I'm here's the thing, I don't have a problem with what she's saying as far as bartering. I kind of, like I said, she lost me in the point of when she started naming the things that she wanted, that she would like out of. I'm like, you're wanting, luxury items, and that's nothing wrong with that. But the purpose of the bartering system, when bartering was a thing back then, is because people were bartering out of necessity. So you want to barter out of, I guess, what you feel is a necessity, what other people feel is a luxury. All right. And not only that, but then she starts talking about how she gives so much free advice to, like she said, her children's dance teacher, their business, and has helped them with their business. She's like, and do I get anything out of that? No, I'm still having to pay for the dance lessons and this and that. So my first question when I'm watching this, I'm like, but did you give free advice because they asked you, or did you insert yourself to give free advice? Like, because there's a difference. If they outwardly say, hey, can you help me with this and this, and you say, yeah, no problem, then I get it. But if you inserted yourself to give free advice, then that's on you, baby. Like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like that's what people lose themselves, and they feel like, oh, I did this, so I could just do that. I deserve this, I deserve that. No, you inserted yourself in a place that nobody asked. Okay, people have a tendency to want to insert their information, insert their what they feel is deemed in their opinion to someone in things that they're having, but nobody asked you, right? So she started talking about how, she had been doing this for so long, she'd been in this business that she's in for so long, and how she's been helping people, and now her and her family has gotten to a point where they're struggling. So I'm just like, so now we get to the meat and potatoes of the thing. You're starting to talk about how, because you're living a lifestyle, and I can't say her lifestyle, what her life, if she lives above her means or whatever, but kind of based off what she was saying, it kind of sounds like sometimes she tends to live above your means, and boo boo, do your thing. Not knocking you, but it just sounds to me like, because you've gotten to a point in your life where all that money you were spending is now starting to diminish, and people can't afford to ask for consulting advice anymore, because let's be honest, if you're consulting for a business and they don't get a return on the advice that you gave them, then what's the point of paying somebody to give advice? And they ain't getting no return, especially if they doing what you asked, told them that they should be doing, right? But whatever. So I'm thinking to myself, like, so the problem is that you're upset is because you can't get the luxury things that you want anymore, and you feel like you should be able to barter because money doesn't mean anything, because somebody made the decision to make paper money a thing that doesn't mean, like, so you have this 401k that you can't touch because this and that. Why you can't touch your 401k? If you want your money out your 401k, take the penalty and get your money out your 401k. Ain't nobody stopping you. So I just thought that was very interesting, because whenever I thought about bartering, I always said I would love to start bartering again, but I will only want to barter for something that benefits me. If it's something if it's something I already pay for, or something I already do on a regular, then why, I would love to barter for that. But at the end of the day, I still have to pay my bills, because you can barter all day long. Unless you bartering with the people at the power company that can keep your power on, and you bartering with the mortgage company, like she said, and or the leasing company for something, and they keeping your bills paid to where you still got a roof over your head, you're only bartering for services and goods that will benefit you in that way, but you're not bartering for the stuff that's gonna keep a roof over your head, right? So I just thought that was very interesting. I think people look at trading and bartering in a totally different light than I do, and maybe that's just something that I'm missing out on, and maybe I just don't see it. Maybe I'm missing the bigger picture here, but I just don't want to get, for what I do, my job is physically demanded. I don't want to give a physically demanded job or service to something that I just want for a luxury. I want to do, if I'm gonna do physically demanding work and not get paid for that, and doing it as a trade out, it got to be a trade out that's gonna benefit me. So yeah, so baby girl, I hope what you were saying, I hope it works for you, and I hope you do find what you're looking for, and you get that bartering deal when you barter with somebody that got a yacht and all that stuff. But please, at the end of the day, realize with your consulting information, the information you're giving is just by saying this stuff. You're not actually putting money into your part of that bargain, right? You're not putting money into that. You're just giving that advice out of your mouth. The most you may be giving is maybe like if you're doing this like virtually or something like that. But for the most part, the person that's gonna take that information and use it, they're still gonna, and the barter chip that you want to give, you want to give something that's verbal to get something that's physical. So just think about that when you talk about that kind of stuff. And if they can afford to do that and that doesn't mean anything for them, then by all means go for it. But I don't think you need to be sitting there trying to barter and talk about how you deserve this and that, and you deserve a better trade, this is it, if you've inserted yourself your advice for free and nobody asked you. That's it.